the night out right. Panel at the table in that half-dead light. Miss Robin in the middle, calling every shot, directing and producing, till the story runs hot. 1-1 from the city, badge heavy on his chest, towing that law like a wicked chain, spitting facts, no rest. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite. JJ in the corner, state of the deep in his head. Which lies to toss and which ones to keep instead. Dago from the cafe says forget about it, leans back, spins his thoughts like a blade cutting holes in the track. Lee at the front, head advocate, steady stare, every word like a warning, every silence a dare. All of them leaning in, clock crawling, eyes bright. Every secret feels louder than the buzzing of the night. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite. You can bury it in paper, you can lock it in a file, but the truth bleeds through, drip by drip, tile by tile. We're dragging it to daylight, name by name, line by line. If you wrote it in the shadows, we'll read it out this time. Yeah. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite.
Well, hello out there, everyone. Hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. Welcome to another edition of Crimes After Dark, Sunday edition. Um, for those who may not know, Lee takes Sunday nights off so that he can rest and recharge a little bit and get ready for the week ahead. So, but we have almost a full panel backstage. We have Dego in the house, and of course, he's from True Crime Cafe. And then we have Miss Logan from Bronx Tales. She is with us tonight. And then, of course, everyone's favorite vampire, 1-1. He is here. So, unfortunately, right now, probably until April sometime, I don't think we're going to have JJ on Sundays. Right now, he's playing a bunch of gigs. He's a musician, plays in a band. And so typically Sundays, he has a gig until sometime in the evening. So I don't think we're going to get him on Sundays very much right now. So, but otherwise, we are here, and starting this week, we're going to be covering the death of Princess Diana. and covering that case. So last week we finished up Kurt Cobain, and so this is going to be kind of the thing we do on Sundays to kind of differentiate from the week, is cover kind of I don't know if you want to call it a cold case or a retro case or what have you. So, but it's really great to be here with everyone. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start pulling people up here. I'm going to bring up Dago here. Hello,
Yeah.
sir.
Hello, hello. Good evening. Good to see everybody. Thank you for having me again. I hope
Yeah, of
everybody's
course.
doing good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good to hear.
You
Good to
guys have it
hear.
cold out there, but no snow. Like us here, we have a bunch of snow going on.
Oh, I'm worried it's going to hit overnight. We had a little bit this morning. It is freezing again. It is. Let's see. It is. Yep, we're back in the 20s. It was 50 all week. It's 28 again. So
Uh, I know they're teasing that stupid groundhog. I'm
they
not a
should have.
fan of his. So
No, I'm not either. Somebody should have caught him and made dinner out of him or something. I don't know. Anyway,
her hat
yeah,
or something.
a hat would be good too. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, but well, it's
Definitely.
good to be back here again with you. And I know you're as excited as the rest of us for Princess Diana.
Yes,
So it's going to be great. So
definitely,
I'm going to go
definitely.
ahead and see if Miss Logan is ready. She had left. I don't know if she's having. Let me pull her up. Logan, are you there?
I am here. Are you there?
I think, or else I'm a figment of your imagination.
StreamYard is being funky. For some reason, it kicked me out. So I had to reset everything.
Yeah,
I'm back. I'm back. Don't
It
worry.
kicked. It shut down my
yeah.
show earlier. When I started, it just ended it.
Did it really?
Oh man,
I
that
promise you, it
stinks.
is always something. Every day it's something different.
Yep.
Yes,
Well, look how much it hates me most of the time. It mutes me all the time.
Yeah. And that's just literally with the freaking sound.
yes.
Yeah. Oh
I
my gosh,
almost
it's
wish we
crazy.
would have continued talking about Kurt Cobain, considering all the stuff that's coming out about it now, but
Yeah.
also a good point to talk about on our individual channels as well. But I'm so excited to talk about Princess Diana. Like, so excited.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. There's a lot to get into. So let me get one up here, and we will uh, have him do his monologue. Hello,
Evening,
sir.
evening.
One
Hello,
more
hello.
easy.
How
It's
is
a
everyone
blizzard out
doing?
your way.
Good.
A blizzard, yeah. We're getting probably 2 feet of snow, maybe more.
Oh my gosh,
But I
Yeah, it
still have
crazy.
to go
sucks.
to work. I still have to go to work tomorrow, no matter what, even if it takes me
Well,
eight
I hope they
hours to
keep
get
your
there.
roads plowed.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's
That's why I will
crazy.
enjoy my whiskey.
There you go.
Guess-
Keep warm, huh?
Yes.
One way or another.
Yes. So yeah, it's great to see that. I mentioned it the other night. I find it, I don't know what the right word is, but it's just kind of very interesting. Just as we finished our Kurt Cobain coverage, I believe we
Yeah,
covered. I think we did 6 shows on it. I
6.
believe.
Yeah,
So right as we
yeah,
finished the show, I just find it funny that a police captain that actually from Seattle that worked on the actual case
Hmm.
is now coming forward saying he believes it was a homicide. So
And he's
uh,
yeah,
like super respected and high ranking.
yes,
Right.
And yeah,
Yeah.
which
yeah,
makes
yeah.
that even more important.
right,
Well, I'm gonna
like
try to get in contact with him. I'm gonna try.
right,
And if we can
and
go
yeah,
back and do like an update kind of thing, if he will come
Yes.
on,
right,
we will revisit it. Because if
yeah,
he had whatever so if we could potentially arrange that, there's no promises, of course, that he'll even
right, right.
talk to me. But, so I do intend on getting in touch with him. So
Yeah, we'll always try. I mean, it's one thing, they just recently had that independent study that we covered in the where they spelled out all the different inconsistencies and stuff, just a handful of things just from the crime scene alone
right,
that we covered last week. That didn't even talk about all the stuff with Courtney and all the and Hopper, all these other people around and all the other info that we know. They were just dealing with the crime scene per se and the suicide note and stuff. So
right,
the fact, and they, of course, Seattle, and they refused to open the case. But now, this guy, a former Seattle captain, has what his voice should have some push into something, I would think. So,
right. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
well,
So
we'll be keeping our eye on it. And
yeah, that's for sure. So. And just
anyway,
real quick before you do
yeah,
your thing, I just wanted to welcome everyone in from all of the channels, all the chats, all the mods. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, and we're so glad to have you with us. And we really hope you enjoy this series about Princess Diana. So, but okay, I
all
will
right.
go right ahead there.
Is it good to be alive in the den on a Sunday night?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Juliana, Jackson, and my lovely wife. Love you guys. Have a good night. We will have a change of pace tonight as we investigate a new case. Before the tunnel, before the headlines, before the crash that froze her forever in time, there was a girl, shy, awkward, barely prepared for the machinery she was about to step into. Diana Spencer didn't enter the world as a rebel, she entered it as an idea, a symbol chosen for tradition, for optics, for the continuation of a crown older than memory. At just 20 years old, she became Princess of Wales, and overnight, her face belonged to the world. Every smile was studied, every step documented, every silence interpreted. Inside the palace, she learned quickly that fairy tales come with rules, and that love, inside institutions built on control, is often conditional. Her marriage unfolded in public, but the loneliness happened behind closed doors. While the cameras adored her, the walls closed in, protocol over comfort, duty over emotion, image over truth. And yet, somewhere in that pressure cooker, something unexpected happened. Diana refused to become distant. She touched the untouchable. She sat with aged patients when fear ruled the room. She walked through minefields, not as a photo op, but as a statement. She knelt to children, listened instead of lectured, broke royal distance with human closeness. And the world noticed. They didn't just see a princess anymore, they saw a woman who spoke openly about depression, about bulimia, about pain, at a time when silence was the royal language. That honesty made her beloved and dangerous because institutions built on control rarely tolerate unpredictability. As Diana found her voice, she also found her independence. Divorce followed, so did freedom, at least on paper. But freedom came with a price. The cameras didn't loosen their grip, they tightened it. Every relationship became speculation, every moment a chase. Privacy became impossible. She was no longer just Diana the humanitarian, she was Diana the story, Diana the threat to carefully managed narratives. By the final years of her life, she was more visible than ever and more exposed. Loved by millions, protected by no one. And then, in the early hours of a Paris morning, the woman who spent her life being watched disappeared in seconds. What remained was a legend, a tragedy, and a question mark history has never fully erased. Tonight on Devil's Advocates, we step back before the ending, before the tunnel, before the theories. We look at the life, the pressures that shaped her, the choices that empowered her, and the system that struggled to contain her. Because to understand the mystery, you first have to understand the woman. This is Devil's Advocates, and this is the life of Princess Diana. And with that, live from New York, it's Sunday night.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yay.
That was great.
Good
Love
job.
that. Yeah.
So before
So,
we get super duper deep into it, what are your guys' theories as far as what happened at the end of her life? Do you have any?
Mhm.
well, I don't believe it was just an accident. That's for sure.
That's yes.
Yeah.
I believe that she
But
was extremely conflicted. She was she dealt with a lot of stuff. She was kind of always looking over her shoulder. There's tons of stuff. She was constantly thinking her phones were bugged. Remember, we're talking about in the 90s now too. Like I think things were like analog and whatever. It very easy to bug things. I Once her book came out, which we're going to get into a little bit later, in 1991 to 1992, she kind of broke that wall down of the the monarch, the hidden wall, like, oh, everything is all peachy and great. And she really, that book that came out, that really showed her her feelings, and they're from tapes that she did. It's from her, so it's not
mhm,
even she didn't write it herself, but it's from her voice, it's from her stuff. And you just can see she was basically like thrown into being, like I said, all of a sudden one day she's, Princess of Wales, and she's thrown into this thing without really any uh
yeah. Which, and we will
teachings and
get
whatnot.
into
Yeah, we'll get into
all of
all
that.
that.
Yeah.
So I do
So,
think, and we'll get into later, like there's a million different inconsistencies again, just like Idaho 4 and every other case that we cover. Um, I
yep,
I can't say that
for sure.
I know we have stuff that's like, oh, this is the official record, this is the official document. I don't, just on one thing alone, okay, in the tunnel where she died, there's 14 cameras, and all 14 cameras happen not to work. Like, come on. Give me a
Hmm.
break.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So very many inconsistencies, that's for sure. But in order to understand some of the stuff that happened at that time, we should go back to the
To the
beginning a little.
beginning,
So,
yes.
yes, to the beginning. So, Diana Frances Spencer was born on July 1st of 1961 at Park House on the Sandringham, I can never say this word, Sandringham estate. She was raised within British nobility, yet she was shaped by a childhood marked by family fracture and emotional instability. Before she became Princess of Wales, she was a kindergarten assistant in London, a shy young woman navigating ordinary life. In 1981, at just 20 years old, she stepped into one of the most powerful institutions in the world, marrying Charles, Prince of Wales, before a global audience of hundreds of millions. Tonight, we're looking at the timeline that led to that moment, because before there was a myth, there was a young woman entering history. So, and so, like I said, she was born July 1st, 1961. And her parents divorced when she was like 7. And she primarily lived with her father. She was educated at Riddlesworth Hall and West Heath schools. And she attended finishing school in Switzerland before returning to England and worked as a kindergarten assistant in London prior to the royal engagement. And of course, she had some other jobs. She was a nanny. I guess at one time she was a cook somewhere.
Yeah.
She actually cooked,
Yep.
somewhere. So, and that's not something you think about,
Right.
her
Right.
literally, like I didn't know that until recently, that she had cooked at a restaurant at some point. So that was pretty interesting. But and she was like 16, and she kept failing her classes.
Mhm.
And she even said herself that she was never interested in school, really. The main passion in her life was working, with kids, and that's really what she wanted to do. And when she was 16, she dropped out of school, and of course her family was not happy about that, so they sent her to finishing school, which she came home early from that as well. And that's when she just went to work in London and that kind of thing. But she came from royalty and nobility herself. So she, they, some people, I remember, I don't know if you guys do, but back then, I didn't know a whole lot about her, as far as like that she was from royal lineage. Like, I always
Right.
heard that she was a
Right.
commoner and that kind of thing. But I mean, her lineage goes back centuries
Mhm.
and is intermingled. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Did you have anything about that, Dago?
About her childhood or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah,
stuff?
yeah. Anything you wanted to add there? Yeah.
Let's see. Um, Diana Francis Spencer. I have a bunch of stuff back here. I just had to pull it over and sort it out.
I have some stuff when Dago's done too. I just had to grab a granola
Okay.
bar. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
Basically, as far as what you just said, she was born into British nobility, and grew up
Mhm.
close. She was very close to the royal family, living at Park House, like I said, and I could never say it either. So that S word, estate place, so on and
Sandringham.
so forth. Right. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. She met Charles when she was 16. All those things that we had were put out there too. I'm just trying to think about what you haven't already said. But let me sort down through the bottom here. 1 minute here.
You mentioned she was very shy, which is
Yeah.
interesting. Because for
Mm.
someone
And
like she's in a
in a lot
nobility,
of the pictures you see, she did not have the greatest childhood.
No,
no.
and that's
With her parents divorcing and everything. A lot
Yeah.
of the pictures,
Yeah. I'm gonna get
yeah.
into some of that. Yeah.
She was 7 when
yeah,
they divorced, like you said. Her mother
yep,
ended up getting in a relationship with a gentleman by the name of Peter Shand Kidd, I think it's pronounced. They were married in 1969, and Diana lived with her mother in London during when her parents were separated in 1967. But during that year, um, there was a little bit of a. I thought this was an interesting topic. During that year's Christmas holidays, Lord Althorp refused to let his daughter return to London with Lady Althorp. Shortly afterwards, he won custody of Diana, which is her father. I'm sorry, I should have stated that. I didn't mean to not say that.
That's okay.
And where'd it go? Where'd it go? He won custody of Diana with support from his former mother-in-law, Lady Fermoy. These names kill me sometimes. In 1976, Lord Althorp married Rain, a Countess of Dartmouth. So here again, it relates to what Robin was saying about the. She definitely comes from forms of royalty before marrying into the royal family per se. So,
Right.
and part of as leading into that, part of when her father remarried, Diana's relationship was horrible with her stepmother. It was horrible. There's a lot of background stories on that came in different directions about different things going on. Her name was, I believe it again, was Rain, Countess of Dartmouth, and she resented Rain, who she called a bully. On one occasion, Diana pushed her down the stairs. She later described her childhood as a very unhappy and was very unstable the entire thing. So therefore, in turn, at that point going forward, she became known as Lady Diana after her father later inherited the title of Earl Spencer in 1975, at which point her father moved the entire family from Park House to Althorp, the Spencer seat in Northamptonshire. So I'll go
Yep.
there with that, and then Logan, after you.
I want to say just really one kind of major point that I thought of was I always wondered, was Princess Diana's childhood what ultimately led her into a position that she had, which was Princess Diana? Or did somebody get word of her and scope her out, knowing that she could be molded to exactly what they wanted?
Good question.
Meaning groomed, maybe?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's a good point.
Because she did
possible.
go through a lot of things in her childhood that made her perfect to be a leader. She was
Well,
more
and the fact that
focused
she
on-
was also from a noble family,
Right.
I mean, that right there would qualify her in the crown's eyes. That would qualify her right there. The fact that she herself did come from royal bloodlines. So it does kind of make sense. And they were close to the royal family even as she grew up. So the potential, I would say, to be groomed could possibly have been there. So that's an interesting point. Yeah.
when she was younger, she didn't care about fame or money or
No.
materialistic
No,
things.
no.
She cared
Mm-mm.
about people and being an
Yep.
empath and caring about the people around you. And she learned that. I think that I should rephrase that. I don't think she learned that. I think she was born with those things because the way she grew up should have made her into the exact opposite type of person that she actually was. Which is
Yeah.
really amazing
Mhm.
within itself if you think about it.
Yeah.
She was
It
she was a
is.
strong woman. Oh, just real quick, Jamie Sue, thank you for the gift. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just real quick, actually, my apologies. I am deeply so sorry, but I'm actually gonna jump off. I'm starting to not feel the greatest, so I need to take a
Oh,
nap.
I'm
I'm gonna,
Ah.
yeah, I need to go to sleep. I'm sorry. I didn't
That's
expect
okay.
this to
okay.
come
That's
on this
okay. Feel
hard.
better.
Yeah, I'm
All
just
right.
gonna
Take
go to
care.
sleep and then I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All
Okay.
right.
Feel
I hope you
better.
All
feel
right.
better.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Hey,
Good night.
Have a
take
good night, hon.
care.
Feel better. I hope she
Aw.
feels better.
Yeah.
She didn't look like she was
Yeah, she
feeling
did.
the greatest.
No.
No, she didn't. Aw. God love her. Well, no, that was an interesting point though.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
very
know,
much.
the but yeah, she was definitely a very strong woman to have gone through everything she did and still been such a kind person,
So to
Yeah,
talk about her early childhood part. So So a big part, that a big spiral, if you want to say, I mean, there's a few things, and we'll get into, yeah, she did an interview later on where people will say that that was a big spiral, and it did cause a huge rift. But from what I see and what I researched, I believe that her rift was way before she even did this interview. It's when this book came out, um, which was called Diana, Her True Story. And more so recently, it was kind of rebranded Diana, Her True Story in Her Own Words. It's actually made by Andrew Morton. Andrew Morton was uh, he worked for the royal family. He was like a reporter, a royal reporter, So I guess he was the one that she entrusted to listen to some of these tapes and some of this stuff. That he's the one that put the stuff together. When it comes to her early childhood that we were focusing on, so she does talk about the divorce of her parents and sadness. It's about the collapse of safety and the exact moment or kind of her identity is forming. Diana's memories are sensory, fragmented, and repetitive of smells, darkness, crying, waiting, and silence. That matters. So that trauma memories don't organize themselves into neat stories, they replay at sensations. So this kind of winds up being a big deal. That whoop, I almost it was weird. Something popped up on my screen. This winds up being kind of a big deal that will shape her later on. So we have something called attachment rupture. So when her mother leaves, Diana doesn't receive an explanation that a child can metabolize. Adults take sides, but no one anchors the child emotionally. This produces what clinicians would later call anxious attachment, intense fear of abandonment paired with extreme loyalty. Then we have caretaker inversion. Diana describes washing her sister's clothes, packing suitcases, looking after her brother. This is a child stepping into an adult role. Love becomes something you do for others, not something you safely receive. That's an important point. And she also has this thing of what's called the boy wound. Okay, so what does that mean, the boy wound? Well, being the wrong gender isn't just family trivia. It creates an early internal narrative. She feels that she arrived as a disappointment. And that belief resurfaces later when she feels she's failing the monarchy by not being enough for Charles. So, why is this such a big deal? These things later on, this childhood trains Diana to tolerate emotional neglect, overfunction to keep relationships intact, and equate love with service and sacrifice. That is the psychological foundation that makes her vulnerable to the royal system. So that is key.
Right, because the whole thing with the monarchy, as many monarchies, is they all want boys. There's got to be an heir.
Yep.
And so then, of course, that became her job essentially to, produce heirs. Um, but backing up to her childhood, something that Logan had said, she didn't care about any of that stuff in her early life. She wanted to be a ballerina. And that was like the first, you could call it the first love of her life was dancing. The only problem was as you know, she was tall, and she was about 5'10", almost 5'11", and so it's kind of hard for women of that height to become ballerinas. But she was good. very good. And she was also an avid and talented swimmer. I remember watching a video. I can't remember the lady's name right now, that she was talking about how when she would dive, she would make these incredible dives. She would go in the water just perfectly vertical and no splash. So she was a very talented athletic young
Oh
lady.
yeah.
That
Yep.
that's the kind of stuff she really wanted to do, was that more creative stuff. And as someone who's that way myself, I can understand why school wasn't her thing, you know. So yeah. Um but so yeah, she did leave school when she was 16. She spent a brief time in Switzerland. And she um
And
Um,
her
I got
father
some
was
I,
people
not
on my school
happy.
day. So
Go ahead,
I
Dago.
good.
I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna throw something in the back end there that it was
Yeah.
somewhere in around the mid 70s. She had started. I thought this was interesting. Actually, undertook voluntary work at a psychiatric hospital near Dart. I think it's Dartford, Kent.
Oh
She's
wow.
yeah.
I
She
didn't
was
know that.
working in specialized units within Darren's Park Hospital, which is a psychiatric
Hmm.
hospital. Again, going back to the point that she cares about people, she wanted to help people all the time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and as you spoke on earlier, she spent 3 months working as a nanny for I think it's Philip and Jeremy, or Philippa, sorry, and Jeremy Whitaker in Hampshire. And that was after I think it was what you were speaking of there, Robin, the Alpine Vidamente finishing school in Switzerland. Sorry about that. I can't
Yeah.
pronounce any of these names.
That's okay.
And she was only there one term, like you said, and then she left after the Easter term in 78 and returned to London. And that's where she moved back in with her mother for a while. And then, like, going into where you were headed. So I just wanted to throw that whole thing in there because it does
Yeah.
point back to the fact that she was very caring for people. She did a
Yep.
lot of work that was voluntary to work at a psychiatric hospital. At her age, as a young woman, you'd think, "Wow, that's a lot," you know. But it points to the fact that she was really about people. So that's all.
Yeah. And given her upbringing, that really just drives that home even more, how she
Yeah.
didn't become jaded. She didn't, you know,
No,
No.
no, and she didn't
No.
and
judge. She didn't
just
judge people either.
So
That's the
yeah.
thing.
no,
So I have
no.
some of her own feelings about her school days to
Oh,
add
okay.
on to what you guys are saying. So she
Cool.
seemed to feel she always felt different. So just to add on to some of the things you guys are saying. So as you said earlier, school becomes the first place Diana experiments with performance as survival. Right? As Robin stated, she was not academically confident, but she was socially intuitive, emotionally observant, and hyper aware of mood and hierarchy. She learned how to read rooms before she learned how to pass exams, which is very very interesting. Um, an interesting trait if you're able, some people are not able to do that. So she learned early on how to do that. So specifically what she learned, during her school days. They call it charm as armor. Diana's mischief, humor, and warmth aren't accidental traits, they are tools, and they help her belong without having to be intellectually dominant. Then there's physical expression versus verbal silence. She dances alone at night, swims, taps, moves, but she avoids speaking roles. This suggests a body that knows how to release tension when words feel unsafe. And, um, you know, probably along with, her parents divorcing and all that kind of stuff that she had dealt with, she winds up having an early fascination with suffering. She visiting old people and mental hospitals isn't voyeurism, it's recognition. She understands emotional pain instinctively because she lives inside it. And so why is all of this such a big deal? This is where Diana becomes good at being seen without being known. Later, the monarchy will reward this exact skill and punish her when she wants to be emotionally real.
Yeah, and that is the whole thing with people in that life, especially women. Uh, it's the whole be seen and not heard kind of thing, smile and
Yeah.
nod, and yeah,
Right.
that
Right.
kind of dynamic, and um, it's no wonder, just given her as she matured, that she chafed under that kind of restraint. I mean, I can't imagine, being told how to wear my hair and whatever. So, yeah, um,
Yeah, she went through a lot of that.
yeah,
But
Unfortunately, as
yeah,
even but
we'll
just
get to it
from
down the road, but
right, but even like just for her being born, into like kind of the nobility family, and just even from an early age, she just had this undying, want to help people to just from such an early, you don't see that too often.
I think some of it
no,
may have come from her childhood, the things that she
Yeah,
enjoyed
definitely, definitely, definitely.
as a child and stuff, which
yep,
was,
Mhm.
and seeing that you can live comfortably and knowing that other people aren't because of who you are, okay, is going to make you, not everybody, some people take full advantage of the fact that they have money or they come from an important name or something, and they just live it, they don't care. And somebody
Yeah,
like her is not, even up to the point where she passed away, was always
yeah,
wanting to give to other people, to show other people better things, to donate time and different types of amounts of money and different things to different resource or not resources, but Jesus, I can't think tonight. I'm sorry, but different things in that aspect. She was always putting herself out there to help in different ways. Like
yeah,
the story I was told about something a long time ago is that her mother had bought her a flat, they call it, like a house, for like we would
hmm
call buying a house, for her
right.
18th birthday. It was a gift. Like buying a house at 18 years old and owning one at 18 years old is amazing. And she lived there. I think I two or three people lived with her for a while before, until obviously she couldn't anymore because of Charles and stuff like that. But my understanding is she just handed that over to somebody else and said, "Here, I don't need this anymore. It's a gift
wow.
to you," which people don't
Yeah,
do that. You know what I mean? So,
no,
That's
no,
You don't find that very often, that's for sure.
and
no,
especially
no.
not
Um,
somebody that comes from money or nobility or anything. They just don't do that kind of stuff. It's like you
right.
gotta work. It's so I thought that was a really interesting fact. So,
Yeah, and because where they lived, I mean, this place, I mean, it was a mansion
mhm,
where the family home,
yes, very much
and
so.
it's so for her to have that kind of I mean, kindness, yes, but just
See, yeah.
awareness of other people's situations.
Yeah,
See, and
big
this
time.
is where so this see, and this is what is unique about Diana, like what we were just talking about. So I agree with so not forgetting where you came from is the key, but this is the thing. Diana came from nobility. So
Right.
how she had this she just I'm not saying that no one else has ever done anything nice that have money and whatever. Of course they have, but she didn't really care about like money and all this like fancy
No.
crazy stuff. She actually authentically legitimately wanted to help people. That's what
Yeah,
she wanted to do.
she was very
And
down
we
to earth.
don't and so it's not even about not forgetting she came from nobility. That's what's so odd, what makes her so uniquely special
Yeah. I mean, the
is
house they lived in was built Let's see, it says 1863 by the Prince of Wales. So
Hmm.
it was like an overflow home for the royal family. So you can imagine, I can't even imagine living in a place like that, you know? And
No.
then for her to just have that kind of presence of mind that other people didn't have it as nice.
Yes.
Um, that just a real testament to her.
Her heart, her soul, and the person she truly
Yeah.
was. That's why it was such a
Yeah,
horrifying, a horrible, horrible loss when she left, because there were so many people that looked for her sense of love and kindness and everything, and the
Yeah.
fact that she existed, that people wanted to meet her just to get that sense from her. You know, it was
Right.
amazing. It was an amazing
And
thing.
yeah,
she really lived, she really had a tormented soul, like
Mm,
most,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
and you'd think that would show.
she was
yep.
so nice, right? You think it would show. She was so nice and really offered everything she could in her heart to helping people in need. And we have all kinds of pictures and different things that we'll show you. Um, and you know, but behind closed doors, she really had a tormented soul. And it's sad to see, you know, really, you knowing her story.
Yeah,
Because she did not live with happiness, and she didn't.
no,
So I don't know
No,
if you wanted to get
no, she
into,
didn't.
I have a little thing on how she felt about the courtship
Go,
and her
go
engagement.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So
well, real quick. Well, no, go ahead. I was gonna say that, but yeah, no, you're good.
Go
okay,
ahead,
no, this
Dago. Whoever.
yeah,
I'll be right
yeah.
back, guys. Hang on.
Yes, she definitely
Mhm.
had eating disorder issues. Um,
Oh, yeah, yep.
to answer that question, Teresa,
Oh, someone asked? Yeah, she suffered from bulimia, yes.
actually, from my
Yeah,
understanding, what I read, that was the harshest one, but she also had issues with anorexia as well.
yeah.
She had very bad, like, visual, um, like, self visualization issues, the way she saw
Mhm.
herself, and it was a lot of it, I believe, was based on the pressures that, like Robin said earlier, that the pressures that were brought about from the royal life that she had to live when she married into the crown.
Yeah,
So,
and she was
you
kinda
know,
thrown into it. She wasn't
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, she came from a nobility family, but being, like, right in there in the royal family, she didn't really get. I know, people probably, like, think, "Oh, people probably helped her and she had training," and it no, she
yeah.
really didn't. She
It was
she was
different. It was
thrown
different.
into this role, and,
And the weird thing is when they first met up, she was young, like I said, 16.
Mhm.
Charles was actually dating her sister. And the weird thing is when Logan brought up that statement she brought up a little bit ago about the grooming type style stuff and all that and the molding, Charles was 29 years old. Diana was 16, folks. Think about that. You know how we look at that these days. Think about how that works, you know? And I don't know if it's different over there, but it still seems wrong in the fact that he's dating her sister, Sarah. You know, obviously there was an interest between the two of them, but it just makes me wonder with what Logan had said. That's interesting to think about it like that. You'd wonder, you know?
yeah,
So,
and this is true, Carol, yes. Uh, her sons did give her happiness.
oh
That
God,
is
yes.
true.
Yeah,
So,
she loved her children
that is
very much
probably the
so.
one thing that did, but she definitely had a tormented, soul, like, you just reading all of how she felt and
Yeah,
everything, but absolutely, her sons did give her happiness. And I saw
for sure.
another comment here I was gonna show, oh, here, playing the devil, maybe it was hard. Um, to an extent, I guess, but they are the ones that set the rules. So you're saying maybe it was hard for the royal family too. I I
In
get
what
I get what
like
you're saying. I know, but the royal family, but they're the see, she had to adhere to their rules. Do you
mhm,
understand? Like it wasn't there was no there's no give and take in this. Like
right,
she wanted this spot, she's gonna be with Charles. She has to succumb to their rules and play the role that they want her to be. So that's the only thing I could say. If you'd say that maybe it was hard for the royal family too, but there's no real compromise. It's no, give a little, take a little. So that's the
right.
only thing I would kind of argue with that. So
Yeah, she didn't. I see somebody in the chat said most of her disorder issues, like the eating disorders and stuff, they came after the stress of being married into the crown. So yeah, that's true. That is true from what
yeah.
I saw, at least.
So
Did she? I think a lot of well, what he like he said with the tormented childhood and stuff could have led to some of that, but I think the pressure of
yeah,
once she
it was a start. Right, it was a
married
start.
into it, it made it worse.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's very sad.
So this is from her own, from her own view. So talking about her courtship and engagement, um, she had what says such a hope she says such a hope in my heart. So what what is she really what did she really feel here? What was she trying to say? So
Hmm.
Diana does not fall in love with Charles the man, she falls in love with what he represents emotionally, which again, you have to think about her childhood that we tried to explain to you. Um, he represents permanence, protection, belonging, purpose, and she mistakes structure for safety. So there's a few things that uh, further explain this. So you have what's called power asymmetry. So Charles has a history, authority, and emotional detachment. Diana brings youth, devotion, and emotional hunger. This imbalance is not corrected, it is normalized. Then you have something called emotional illiteracy. Diana repeatedly describes not understanding the rules. That's because the rules are not relational, they're institutional. And then, as I saw someone in the chat had mentioned recently, you have Camilla as symbolic threat. Before Diana fully understands the affair, she senses something is wrong. Her intuition clashes with what she's told, planting the seeds of self doubt. So, why is this so important? What does this mean? So, the engagement locks her into a system where asking for reassurance is weakness, emotional need is framed as instability, and silence is rewarded as Robin explained a bit. This is how the system
Right.
works with the
Yep.
royalty and monarchy. The fairy tale becomes a trap before the wedding even happens.
Yeah. And to your point with that one, it her family was so interwoven with the royal family. I mean, her grandmother, Lady Fermi, was
Mhm.
actually a lady in waiting to the Queen Mother.
Right.
So not only do you have the lineage through bloodlines, but also, you know, people in her family essentially working for the current royal family. So that adds a whole other, dynamic to it, and she grew up playing with her future brother-in-laws. So, I mean, it wasn't that she was unknown to the royal family whatsoever.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Did you have anything to add about the engagement, Dago, or
Let me look
like her
here.
engagement and the beginning of her courtship?
Yeah, well, like I had stated, it was weird because, like I said, Charles was 29, she was 16. Charles was dating her sister Sarah, which is
Hmm.
it happens, but the age differences were quite a bit to me. So, And when I found that, I was like, maybe it's normal over there in that circle of people. I didn't know, but it's something we don't really look too highly on nowadays around here.
Right.
Um, so if you go into where to go. The engagement actually became official on February 24th of 1981. I think I was 5 or 6 years old. She selected her own engagement ring, which I thought was interesting. Which is a good thing. Because a woman wants what a woman wants. That's the best way to do it, I think. Um, and then following the engagement, when her and Charles became engaged, she left her occupation at the nursery as being the nursery teacher's assistant. And she temporarily lived at the Queen Mother's residence, Clarence House, and subsequently resided at Buckingham Palace until the wedding, which when that happened, when I looked into that part of it, I believe it was because once again, like Logan had said earlier, the molding thing. I think they took her in knowing that she was now engaged to the prince. Okay. In that
Right.
sense, they had to create the princess then. Okay. They had to
Right.
take what Diana was and turn her into what was expected to be from the royal family, which entailed a lot of misery from what I read. Of course, like what Robin was saying earlier, first on, diet changes and dress change, the way you had dress
Hmm.
and proper etiquette training and all these other things that she had to go through just to be able to be engaged to this man, then let alone to marry him, which I thought was insane. Some of the stuff that I read about it, just wow. You know what I mean? It's almost like Charles got engaged to Diana, not the person that you want her to be, but that's how it works.
Right. And uh this quote, this thing that we got in the chat, Diana was the only one that showed emotion, others were cold. This was the key point, and this is why this book that came out in 1991, 1992 about her feelings and her story, why this was such a huge thing. Because when you're part of the royal family, you're not allowed to reveal your true feelings. You're not allowed to show
No,
your full emotion,
you
and she
can't have an
did.
opinion unless they
So
tell you you can.
she's breaking the, per se, the whatever third wall, the fifth dimension.
Yeah, they're not allowed to give you you're not allowed to like have an opinion on something unless they approve that. You can't verbally state something to the public. You can't talk to the public unless they tell you you can talk to the public. So think about that kind of a lifestyle, moving from what she was living with, the misery of her childhood, and then going forward from that point on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you already have a horrible, horrible childhood. You go through this, you go through that. You're engaged to somebody whose family, their in turn, brings you into their home and decides that we're going to turn you into a different person, so on, so whether you like it or not, or you won't be part of this family, so on and so forth. In layman's terms,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It is so crazy to think about, like the stress and just horrific things that would be going through your mind as that person. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of the right words to put this into, but yeah,
No, you're absolutely right.
that's absolutely the way it works. So, um, and I read there was a little excerpt in this thing I was reading through that there was a daily schedule she had to go through when this first started with this stuff. She had to wake up at a specific time. She had to do her personal grooming a certain type of way in a certain period of time. Then she had to be downstairs for tea at a certain time and etiquette classes that she had to go through, which Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? Like, yep, and you guys know what I mean by etiquette, like the way that you hold your
Yeah.
fork and the way that you hold your
Yep.
teeth
Everything. Yeah,
up
yeah,
and
yeah.
what you do and all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, like, so Charles was interested in this woman. She was very beautiful woman, very smart, very independent, and all that. And they took every bit of what she had away from her. and put her back into a complete different position. That's crazy to me. So that's not who you were going to
Right.
marry. You were going to marry what they were going to make her. And he knew that because he knows what he grew up
Mhm.
with. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I know, and I'm rambling a little bit about that stuff,
No,
but
you're
that stuff
not. No, you're not.
really
No,
bothers
you're
me.
not.
I have her.
It really
so
bothers me
her
that stuff
feelings.
goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
Absolutely.
so she from her from her own words and her accounts of her marriage, she actually described it not believe it or not, she described it not as a bad marriage, but systemic invalidation. So she tried to speak, nothing changes. She escalates, she's labeled as unstable, and then she collapses. She's managed, not helped. So a few things that show true with this: you have institutional gaslighting. The men in gray suits don't
Yeah.
deny events, they deny meaning. Diana's distress is reframed as personality flaw rather than response to conditions. Then you have image over human cost. The monarchy does not ask, is she okay? It asks, is the image intact? And isolation as control. She is surrounded by people, yet has no confidential peer. That is not accidental. It prevents coalition building. So why is this why does this matter? What's important about this? This is where Diana learns a devastating lesson. The system will survive her suffering. Once she understands that, her loyalty begins to fracture.
It's I didn't know that when she went to boarding school, that was the first time she was ever on a plane.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You know what? I was just looking. I saw somebody in chat said something about which we saw the other day. It just happened. Andrew, being arrested. It's kind of
Yes.
interesting that we're covering this, and that is going on in the
Yes,
side of
yes.
this at the
I
same
know.
time. I
But
just
it's
realized.
Yes. Good
It's like,
timing, right?
it's like it was all of a sudden.
Yes, I just realized. Like, whoa, interesting timing for sure. Wild, wild, wild. Very
Yeah.
wild. So, maybe it'll bring some things to light. Makes me wonder, and I
Yeah.
wonder too if within the royal family, the age thing really did bug me about that. How far apart they were when they got engaged and all that stuff. If the families looked at that as like, are you sure? Should you be doing this? Their families, you know what I mean? Or if it was just a regular, like a normal thing that went on because of who the families would be. It's very interesting. I have to look back into that a little bit more.
And she tried to talk to people, but they fell on
Definitely.
deaf ears. Fell on deaf ears. So
Sure, absolutely.
So did you want me to get into the her self-harm and bullying, or did you have more anything else to add? Like with
just
about the
looking.
marriage?
Just to add to the engagement stuff, what we had brought up.
Yeah.
There was a couple other things. I got a little distracted, so I'm sorry about that. It said here, and then I'll go ahead and shut that down, and you go forward with what you were gonna do, bud. After that whole thing I was talking about with the etiquette classes and all that crazy stuff, it says that, of course, she was trying to find my place where I was. Oh, yeah, she was the first English woman to marry the first in line to the throne since Anne Hyde married James, Duke of York and Albany. That was 300 years beforehand, so that was a big time
Yeah.
difference. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Wow.
at that point, after that, and after all the preparations and the molding per se, her first public appearance with Charles was at a charity ball held at Goldstein's Hall in March of '81, where she was introduced to Princess Grace of Monaco, who we all heard of her too. And at that point, then did you? I guess we can hold off on that because then the next thing to come would be the wedding. So then you can go forth with what you were going to say, sir.
Well, this is just she. I don't know if Robin had anything else to add. The next
No,
thing
go
she
ahead.
she just gets into kind of talking about the bulimia, her self-harm, and pregnancy. So she's, darling, I'm about to disappear. So what's really happening here? This is not about attention seeking. It's about making invisible pain visible. So she
Right.
just wanted she just wanted to if she was able to have someone listen to her, if she was able to kind of get some help, it probably she would have been fine. But Diana's eating disorder and suicide attempts arise when emotional expression is dismissed. Physical breakdown becomes the only language left. So you have to be able to, uh, you have to be able to have a way to get your stress out, to get your,
Of
and
course.
her
Of course.
being in this,
Right.
role, it's like, 24-hour a day role. Like she always has to play the part, and
Mhm.
you always have. There's always the paparazzi and the photographers and this person and that person and going to special events. Uh, you have to have time for yourself too, and it's why it's I would say you do find with people of that kind of fame, or people who are always in that. I know some people are like, oh, but these people, they can buy whatever they want, they have they have the money to do this and that and go wherever they want.
Mhm.
uh that is true. They don't
No.
have, maybe don't have the same issues, that I have or you have, about, paying a car payment or a mortgage payment or this or that. That is true. However, that there are other things in life besides just objects and money. So some
Right.
people in these kind of positions, like her, and there's probably a ton of other examples that you could give, musicians, actors, actresses, that or they don't have a way of release. They're always in the public eye, and they can't seem to, a lot of them, many of them turn to what? They turn to drugs and alcohol, and it's not a good path to be down.
No. And with her being so young when they got married,
Mhm.
and keep in mind too, she'd only met him 13 times. So, I
Right.
mean, 13 times. And then, so was this kind of, in a sense, an arranged marriage?
It
You
kind of
know?
seems that's kind of what I thought too. You know what I
To an
mean?
extent, yeah,
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 Which I
yeah,
can. I've always, anytime I've ever seen any kind of a movie or a TV show or a story about, it's always been like, I can't imagine going into a relationship with a human being, not knowing that person, and having to just move in with that person, get in bed with that person, and live with that person day after day after day without knowing them or having any kind of a real emotional attachment. You know what I mean?
right,
So
yeah,
it
absolutely.
it's like, how? It'd be like seeing your neighbor a few times and moving in with them and making out with them and getting married to them and weird shit like that. It's so weird to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just
what are you
it's the
yeah,
talking
only way I
about?
can. It's the
That
only
never
way I
yeah.
can like
that never
process it.
happens.
I mean, I'm sure it has happened, but it's so weird to process shit like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was more than that to it, but like, as far as
Well,
like a true emotional like attachment between the two of them, I knew they knew each other for
right.
a long time,
Well,
but
she loved him, I believe, at first, or was very
Yeah,
infatuated with him at first.
infatuated,
But
right.
then you have Camilla looking over her shoulder all the time and like trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
tell Diana, well, here's how you handle Charles, and here you should do this and you should do that. Like, I'm sorry, I would have a problem with that if somebody like that, who I knew was like a super close friend of Charles's, were to be trying to tell me how to think and act and feel, and to deal with Charles, and so forth and so on. So but
right.
yeah, I do believe at first that she did love him. Or
I
at least was extremely fond and
Yeah.
infatuated. But
I think
him,
I don't
no.
think he ever did. I agree with you. I think that hey Molly, I believe that when she would watch the interaction between her sister Sarah and him, she probably was very like you said, infatuated, like, oh, he's so interesting,
And
and the
it's
things that he would talk
and
about
it's
and
also a
being
safety, and it's also she knew what it was like growing up with her parents divorced.
yeah,
She seeked that safety. She really wanted
Yeah.
that
because
feeling
he
of being
probably
safe.
presented that in his personality and all that and what she saw. So yeah,
Right.
that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I agree with you, Robin, that she was probably very highly in love with him. And then as she became more involved in the royal family's lifestyle and everything and saw him and all these other things, it probably became to be more of a I have to do this than a they were
Right.
roommates per se. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
she knew she was expected to produce heirs. So
Hmm.
there was that added pressure there, as well.
Yeah.
Not that she didn't want children, because obviously, I mean, she absolutely adored children. So
Yeah,
that wasn't, but when you're pressured into that kind of thing, it's a little bit of a different story. But she loved her boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. And I'm
And you
sure
can you yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just didn't wanna get too far ahead, that
Right.
when Camilla popped
Uh,
up into the picture, that it caused a whole lot of, like, repressed bad feelings and memories to come back to the surface too,
Sure.
but I don't
Yeah.
wanna go too
Yeah.
far ahead, like I said, so
yeah.
Yeah.
So so to finish off about the bulimia and the self-harm and the
Yeah,
pregnancy, um, so the main points of that, we have control versus chaos. So bulimia offers temporary control in a life where her body, schedule, and image are owned by others.
yeah,
So
right.
um, then there's the stairs incident when she throws herself down the stairs while pregnant. It occurs after emotional dismissal. This is not impulsive drama. It is despair colliding with entrapment. And then you have motherhood as tether. William and Harry are not accessories, they are lifelines, and they anchor her to survival. So, like
Yeah.
earlier in the
And
chat, when someone said that she loved her kids, that is probably what kept her somewhat the little sanity that she was able to have in her mind, that or focus. That's probably what was able to do
well,
it.
yeah, because when her mom left, she begged her mom not to go, and she kept like waiting for her mom to come back. So there was that whole abandonment issue, and there was no way she was going to do that to her boys. There was no way, like, was not going to do
Right.
that to them.
Of
Um,
course, absolutely.
yeah. So
Absolutely, because it would
So
once again, you don't wanna relive we always want better for our children than what we've lived, so, therefore, again, just going forward in that aspect, that's all, yeah.
yeah. Yep.
the stuff that I was explaining, um, it, exposing the cost of silencing emotional truth, it's the pain doesn't disappear, it mutates into the body. The monarchy treats symptoms, and Diana is drowning in causes. That's
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. I always thought it was a shame too, because she, with her being so athletic, she went with her one girlfriend skiing and tore the tendons in her, I believe it was her right ankle, and she spent like 3 or 4 months in a cast, and so she couldn't swim, she couldn't, play tennis because she was an avid tennis player. So those types of pursuits, she was gifted, but in different ways, not necessarily in the classroom necessarily. Not that she was any kind of a dummy or anything. She was a highly intelligent woman. She just had different areas, being a musician. She was a very good piano player. So I really wish that the royal family had appreciated her more for those types of gifts. Unfortunately, they did not.
yeah.
So
The next thing I have is on is basically some stuff, how she felt about Camilla and the deception. So I don't know if you guys
okay.
wanted to start to get into Camilla, or if Dago had anything.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So her feeling about Camilla and the deception says she wasn't paranoid. And what was really happening here is the betrayal is not only romantic, it's collective. So Diana discovers that the staff knew, the courtiers or whatever knew, friends of Charles knew, and they all lie to preserve stability.
Mm-hmm.
This creates a reality erosion. Being told repeatedly that what you see isn't real destabilizes identity, and so therefore the problem, the system is absolved. So evidence as self-defense. Her need to produce letters from Camilla is not obsession. It's an attempt to prove sanity. Why does this matter so much? Because this is where Diana stops trusting authority and starts trusting the public instead.
Which is probably a good thing, because I think the
Yeah.
public, in my opinion, cared more for her, from what I saw, what I remember seeing. And I mean, there were times that I remember seeing her being what I would call being humiliated in the public eye by Elizabeth, Charles, other people that was around her. And you can just watch, even as a child, I could tell like people uncomfortable. Do you know what I'm saying? Like body
Yeah.
language. When she was in like public viewings or in a public eye, people are doing things, and she was just, you could feel the vibe, the uncomfortableness. It was so weird as I remember and think back then, and it's like, wow, why would you do that? She's part of your family, but she wasn't. That's the thing. I don't think she ever fit in to that family the way
No.
the way she should have been received, which is
Well,
where the whole Camilla thing comes into play.
No,
Go ahead.
yeah, I
right.
mean, and she threw herself down the stairs when she was pregnant. I mean,
Yeah.
she was screaming. She was screaming for help. She was.
She did not want to bring her children into that life at all. That's another thing.
She was screaming for help. You know.
It was
Yeah.
bad.
Well,
Very bad.
that family. Okay, Queen Elizabeth was kind of a product of the monarchy.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is that she was not a warm mother. There
Right.
were members, her own friends and family said that if she had raised her children with the same type of care and love as she raised her racehorses, that
Hmm.
things would have turned out a lot better.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when she was it was one of those things that she was very happy to, see the child for a half hour or so a day and hand it back off to the nanny and other staff, that kind of thing.
yes.
So, um, when you have that kind of an environment and you're marrying into that, that typically doesn't really bode very well, especially if your husband does not love you.
Right,
So,
and
and it's not like Charles was there to support her really.
that's bingo,
So,
and he
I'll be
never
right back. I just gotta hit the bathroom. I'll be right back.
yeah, he never
okay, no
stood up
problem.
for her. He never took up for her. He never took her side against any of the she kinda bucked the system, which is why she had such a hard
Right,
time with them, okay? She
right,
she was a very strong, independent person, and they tried to take that from her, all of it, and that's
right.
sickening to me, but being that she was that person, that's what, in my opinion, because that's I'm married to one of those people, okay? A very strong, independent woman that doesn't need me. She never needed me. She's with me because she wants to be, not because she needs to be.
Right,
So
right.
in turn, you see that as I became an adult and learned the ways of life and all that kind of stuff. Not to ramble again, but this is just how I see these
Yeah,
things.
right.
When look back on what we saw from them then, knowing what we know now, okay, it's really sad to me because as a husband, he should have, which tells us, like, I agree with you, Robin, that he never did love her. He didn't love her. It was a convenience
No.
thing, and it was a marriage of, I don't even know how to put it. It wasn't because of money, because they had more, obviously. But the point is that he did it, I think, as initially because she was beautiful, as kind of a
Oh
showpiece
yeah.
type thing, you know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
And because she was young. Thank you so much, Aquarian, for that. It is a very cold family, I agree with that, and God bless for
Yeah.
your super chat. Thank you very much. But, I guess the point I'm trying to get at with this is that he didn't I don't know, I guess let me put it this way, if my family were to treat my wife any type of whoa, what's up, Coda? Um, Scared the hell out of me. Um, if my family were to treat my wife like she was less than the rest of us, or not good enough for us, or I saw that they were putting her in a position that would make her feel that way, bye. They would leave, and that would be life. And that
Yeah.
was that was so weird. One. It looked like he just walked
I
out of
know.
the background of that castle. That was insane. I loved it.
Did I did?
Very cool. But
You
yeah,
walked out, and I'm watching you, and then you're walking back in, and it's
right.
like he really is a vampire. He re-
Exactly. That was awesome. But yeah, that exactly is what I'm saying. Like, as a husband, or even remotely close to anything, like, being treated that way, he should have stood up and said, "That's enough. Stop. That's my wife. You don't treat her that way, so on and so forth." Which again, like I said, tells me there was no love there. And
no,
that's very sad to me. That's the
it
point I was trying to make.
is.
And I think that played a part in a lot of the misery. And she still withheld and went through all of that. And I believe that was for her children at that point, because it was at that point she had the boys, it was too late.
Right.
And she knew that she had to protect them, in my opinion. That's all. That's
Yeah.
that's how I felt
I
about that.
I
So
agree. And I thought it was really interesting too. I often wonder if her sister, because she dated Charles previously,
yes, beforehand,
Diana's
yeah.
sister.
Sarah.
Right. Yeah, Sarah. I kind of wonder if she was like very relieved that she wasn't the one who married
Maybe.
into that family, you
Yeah.
know?
That's a
But at
good
the
point.
time, Diana thought that was amazing. Like, move over, sis. I'm marrying the prince, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, and you
But
think about
yeah,
the mentality, Robin, like the age difference between a 16-year-old little girl enamored of a 29-year-old man. Of course, she
Right.
doesn't see and understand all the other stuff that's attached to that at that
No,
point. So
no, no. So yeah,
It's a
there's
huge. That's a huge age gap.
big time,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing to me. 30, she was only 36
hmm
when she passed.
Very sad.
I
Very,
mean,
very,
that's
very
just
cute, way too young.
just
Yeah,
so young.
And can you
so
imagine
young,
what
and
she would have had to offer?
just think about, yeah, think about like all the stuff that she would have been involved with, you know.
And here's
Yeah.
my wonder on this too. If I didn't get to read up to this yet, but if Diana would have lived and they would have moved forward in their relationship, stayed together, so on and so forth, whatever, would she have become queen before Charles became king? Is that how that works over there? See, this is one thing I don't understand. Is that how they do
No,
that, or does it have to be or is it the
it's
heir
the
No,
male.
to?
it would
It
Is
it
it the male?
it
it
would have
will be
gone
the
to the
male
male.
first.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah,
Got
but
it.
then when
Okay.
he would pass, then if she was still alive, it would go to her. That's like
right.
Camilla is going to be queen. I mean, she is
Okay.
queen, but she will take the throne.
The
You
throne will
know,
go to him first. Yeah, I got you. See, I
yeah.
was always confused about that. I'm sorry. I know
No,
that sounds
Camilla's
weird.
queen until like she passes, and then it'll go to Prince William.
Okay.
Mhm.
But the queen in this aspect, before like Elizabeth was the important one. Her
Right.
husband wasn't. He wasn't like
No.
he was
So I'm
he was a king by
no,
marriage,
no.
but he wasn't
Maybe
in,
is there someone from the UK in the chat who can help us out?
yeah, see, that's what I was always misunderstood
Is there
the
one of our UK people who can help us
Yeah,
out with that? Like
we need like a break.
because
Yeah,
the
I
thing
was
was
looking at the chart.
wait,
Yeah,
Okay, so they're saying Philip was a consort. Okay, that's kind of what I was curious about how that worked out.
yeah.
So
So
sorry, guys.
yeah, I'm trying to right. No.
Have a good night, Carmen.
Because
yeah. So
the queen she was married to a
right,
prince and then she's queen.
Elizabeth
She's the
was queen
daughter of
because
the
she was the
king.
daughter of the king.
Okay, that's what I was
Right.
confused with. See, it is a little
Okay.
confusing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. All right.
Yeah,
that
okay.
makes
And
sense.
Okay.
then
Yeah.
Michelle said when Charles passes, William will be king because Harry stepped out of the circles, so it would go directly to William, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry, you guys. I
William will
didn't mean
be
to
king.
confuse anybody.
Yeah.
I get
I
lost
was
in that thought
confused
all the
because
time.
it got screwed up in my head, so don't feel bad.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like, I can never.
so
That's like
Camilla's a
I
yeah,
always have to remind myself there's a difference between royalty and nobility.
yeah.
They are two different classes. They're not the same. So
Gotcha.
like your
Okay.
earls and your ladies and your dukes, those are
Right.
nobility. They're not royalty. So they're like a little bit
Right.
down from royalty. I always have to remind myself not to like lump that all in together. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Got you. So, okay, I had William and Harry reversed then. I'm sorry. I thought Harry was older, but there we go.
no,
So when Charles
no,
passes, then William will take the throne
right. Yeah. And William's kids will take
after,
the
so on
throne
and
then.
so forth,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
gotcha. Okay, and then what was her name again? What is William's wife?
Catherine.
Catherine, Princess Catherine. That's right. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Don't feel bad. I'm like,
The lineage is what always kind of like threw me, and I read some of these things and it
Yeah.
just didn't process right. So I got it now. I got it.
yeah, yep, yeah.
And Harry's married to Kate. Or no, what's her name? The actress. Wasn't she an actress Harry married? Kate Middleton. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
There we go. I was
yep,
never a
Kate
big fan of
Middleton.
hers. Yeah, that whole thing. And I mean, I'm sure we're stepping a little sideways here, but it's all right.
No, that's
Meghan
okay.
Markle. Meghan Markle, that's who Harry married.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I had it backwards, the other one.
Mhm.
Anyway, so moving forward, I didn't mean again to throw us off key, but
That's okay.
I
That's
wondered
okay.
how I thought it was
No
interesting
rush.
how Harry detached himself from the royalty thing, you know what I mean? So that he could go live his life in
Yeah.
peace, in my opinion, away from all that mess. I always thought that was quite interesting. It should tell a story to the world when you
Yeah.
see somebody do something like that. You would think this is royalty. People would want to stay attached to this. Instead, this man said,
Mm-mm.
"I'm out. Bye."
Well,
You know,
maybe he's tired of all the dirty laundry being.
maybe he saw what happened to his mother and said, "There's something wrong here. I'm not going to put you through the same thing she went through." And that's kind
Yeah.
of what I gathered from him to doing that with Megan. So
Yeah.
yeah, that is right. That's another shit show. I agree with you on that. Um, I don't know, guys. It's craziness, though. Craziness.
So
I like this
I have
comment here.
her.
Dago, I think even the royals need to consult a tree line when speaking. They might.
Good
Yeah,
one, Andy. Good one.
it's crazy when you look at their family tree. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine like knowing who my ancestors were from like thousands of 1,000 years ago or whatever.
Right.
I can't even. I may not want to know.
Absolutely. And don't worry about that sausage biscuits. Everybody, you know how the community is here. Your opinion is always valued no matter which way it goes. So thank you for
Of
that.
Yeah.
course,
Absolutely.
of course.
Always,
So
always.
the next thing I have is her what she feels about the tapes, about how she feels about her own tapes.
Yeah.
The
If you want
Diana
me
tapes, yeah.
to,
Are
yeah.
you want to go
So
there tonight or are you going there? Okay, go for it, bud.
I'm just saying this is just what she feels about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um. So that's this whole book. What this book that came out? Was big part was about her doing these secret tapes and doing this whole thing, and this was kind of her way of getting some kind of emotion out. So these interviews are an escape route. It's not a media stunt. Diana cannot leave physically, so she leaves narratively. And what this really means, it's her voice as survival. Speaking becomes a lifeline. So the act of telling the story reorganizes her sense of self. But the risk, there's a risk calculus. She understands the danger, but accepts it. Silence has become more lethal than exposure. So again, you see, like, she threw herself down the stairs while she was pregnant. She was suffering from eating disorders. All this, all these different things. She was willing to take the risk. So she knows she's not supposed to be making tapes and doing all this stuff, but she does it anyway. So why proxy matters. The need for deniability shows how thoroughly monitored her life is. Truth must move underground to survive. So why does all this matter? This is Diana reclaiming authorship over her own life for the first time.
Yeah.
So that's why her
Awesome.
tapes is such a big deal. And some people talk to, yes, I will say that maybe the final straw in the hat was later on when she does her interview with BBC, and we'll get into that. There's a whole thing with that, but I do
Mhm.
believe really the spiral that was this book that came out. That was kind of the beginning of the end for her.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely
So,
makes I agreed.
um,
Just a little
well,
piece of go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Dago.
Oh, I was just gonna throw it out there because Molly just gave me the lineage on it too. our videographer over here, Molly, is the 11th cousin to Diana. We found out. She pointed it out and
So
showed me the little
cool.
tree for it. So I thought that was kind of cool that we have a little royalty in our group over here too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Princess
Oh my
Molly, I'll
gosh.
call her. It fits, makes a lot of things make sense, like I said, you know. If you can hear me, Molly, it's all good. I love her.
That's
I love
really
her to
neat.
death. Yes, that's awesome.
She
So go
is
ahead.
awesome, that's for sure. Yeah.
You
No,
can see
I
what
was just gonna
I put in the
say,
chat.
what?
You can see what I just typed in the chat.
No, what'd you say? I couldn't see it.
Did it come up? It didn't come up.
I don't think it did.
What the heck?
No,
What is going on?
I don't know. Oh, here we go. Thank you for the gift and the drug war today. It says, thanks for spending so much attention on Diana. I know that will help her feel better in heaven. You guys are grand. Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
She was just a tremendous person. And when Dago, I believe, suggested doing, going over her case, was like, yeah, that was, so just,
And
But
I just felt like there wasn't enough attention paid to
Robin, I think you had
No.
even mentioned it like weeks and weeks ago. You were
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah, so
maybe like we were trying to figure out other cases we might cover. You were like, oh, I'd love to
yeah,
do the Banner thing, and
Yeah.
here we are.
yeah,
I just
yep,
felt like she didn't get enough attention paid to that situation. Because I didn't see a whole lot. There was definitely stuff put out about it, but it's never enough when somebody's been wronged the way
no,
she was, in my opinion. So
no, and
Yeah.
there's just so much. But I don't know that if we want to move forward tonight or with like the next part. I don't know. Did you have anything else, or
Yeah,
because
I just have I have
okay,
a few other, not too much. So this basically talking about the publication of the book that came out, and about her tapes. So which they call the volcano. So what's really happening here? The shock isn't that the book exists. The shock is that people believe her. And the important analysis here is cultural mirror. Women recognize their own silenced pain in her story. Different setting, same dynamics. The institutional rupture. The monarchy loses narrative monopoly. Once the fairy tale cracks, it cannot be fully repaired. And there's no regret. Despite backlash, Diana does not regret speaking. Relief outweighs her fear. The book permanently changes the public expectations of royalty and the acceptable emotional honesty from public figures. It redraws the boundary between power and humanity. So the final, what do we got here? I remember the defense rest. I remember cutting out newspaper articles for a scrapbook when she got married. I must have been 11. Brings back memories. I still have the postage stamp that they released way back then.
that's
my
cool.
mother
Well,
has
that's
one
like
of those stamps too.
Yeah.
Essie. She did a report on their wedding for school, and she got like an A+ on it. So that was
Yeah, I remember
really
her saying
really
that.
cool. Yeah.
And we got another comment here. You guys might want to cover the affairs like Hewitt, the football player, before the interview. That's much later. Yeah, we will get
Right.
into all that
Yeah.
stuff. We
Good
as we
suggestion, though.
said, we have to
There's a
we have
lot.
to go to the
Right.
start and cover her,
Right.
where she come from, and her
Yep.
as a person.
Right. Well, thank you for the gift, though. We really appreciate
Yes,
it. Thank you
thank you.
very much.
So. Very much so.
So the ultimate, the final ideas of this book that came out, all right, in her tapes. The book is not about Diana being weak. It is about a sensitive person inside a system that requires emotional numbness. A woman who's being punished for needing love in a structure built on restraint. And it's about a voice that survives because it refuses to stay buried. This is not gossip, it is testimony. It's her, this is how this is not, it's not an opinion. This is from her own words, her own mouth. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
so that's why I keep referring to her as kind of like a tormented soul. Like, it's amazing to me at how good and how loving and how kind how that someone, all the people that they could be able to reach and have an effect on, but yet
Sure.
behind closed doors, she really was tormented.
Very
And
much
it's
so.
sad.
And
It's very
yeah,
sad.
you can't tell, until you walk, like they say, a mile in someone else's shoes, what they're really, going through.
Yeah,
So,
and what gets me about that with that to you guys is there he is. um the way that the woman always wore a smile on her face and was so, it didn't even look fake. That's the thing. Okay,
no,
she always looked so just like glowed. She always had a glow about her.
yeah,
She always looked so happy and so, and like he says in the background, it was the exact opposite of that. She was so
yeah,
like tormented and just miserable inside, and she could still present herself in such a positive way. I love him. He's so cute.
Right.
Um, it just was amazing to me. It truly was to see that, and it
yeah,
tells you. I mean, I think that speaks to the fact of how truly good she was as a person inside to be able to do that. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I see
Absolutely.
you, Coda. I see you, buddy.
And yeah, he just loves sitting here during this stream. I don't know
It's
why, but he
awesome.
does.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So I do have some photos from the book.
Right.
Great photos. Great photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
So
the one that, I mean, there's a bunch in there. The one I thought that really is so touching to me is the one with the little kid. She's like touching. She's
yeah,
like,
yep,
that one is like so touching to me.
yeah. I'm gonna share my screen and let me know. I have to come back over here and actually add it to the stage. Okay, good. You can see it. Okay. Now this first picture is her. Um, she's probably about 15, 16 here, somewhere around in there. She's just leaning against a railing at their family home at Althorpe.
Yes.
So that's the first picture. She even at a young age took such great pictures, even when she was in her tomboy phase, and she didn't really
Yeah.
uh dress up or anything like that.
She didn't have to.
She-
Right. She
no,
was
she didn't know. Such natural
very,
beauty, and
very
here she is.
photogenic. Yes.
Yeah, photogenic. Yeah. So, and of course, in the summers, she swam every day at the park house outdoor pool. And apparently, when her father moved to Althorpe,
Hmm.
one of his first acts was to build a swimming pool for the kids. So, I
Hmm.
mean, that was you know, really nice of him. So there she is. There she is making one of the incredible dives that she was known for. Can you imagine if she had been at that time? Who knows? She could have been an Olympic swimmer.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
probably
The
should
Never
have
know.
been.
the potential that
Right.
she had so just the world just lost such a tremendous
Big,
person.
huge. Yes.
And then look at this. This is
Yeah,
comical.
it
Yep,
is.
but look at her. She's still beautiful. She's still beautiful. With her face pack and a wet towel and everything. She's still so confident in front of the camera. And that was her. Like Dago was saying, that was one of her trademarks. Was that she?
I always feel, just in my own life, okay, that a person that is as beautiful inside as she was, you could look like a tree on the outside and it would exert nothing but beauty because of who you are on
Right.
the inside. So she did have
Yeah.
natural beauty and she was a beautiful person on the inside. So that's
Yep.
why she was so amazing and such a beautiful person, period. So
Yep. Absolutely. Now here she is with one of her school friends, Caroline Humbert Hammond. They're clowning for the camera here during a school trip to Paris. So they went to Paris, and it's so crazy to me over there. You can get to Paris and all these other awesome places by car and train and stuff. You don't have
right.
to. You don't have to fly. So but yeah. So they're clowning around there during a. Sorry,
Yeah.
the cat
Europe
was
was
pressed in my chair.
Europe was it's such a small place. It's crazy.
It is. And then here she is. This is the Spencer children.
Hmm.
Their dad took this picture in the rose garden at Althorpe. Here they are with the family pooch. And then this was her and a school friend with her stepmother, Countess Spencer, and we all know that she did not get along with her stepmother at all.
I think you
They
froze,
didn't.
Robin.
Oh,
It's because, yeah. No,
Probably
now
yeah,
you
because
know.
I'm here. I'm
Okay.
She's
yeah,
there.
I'm
She's there.
here. It's my stupid computer.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
It,
yeah.
I swear StreamYard hates me, but
You're moving again. Don't worry about it.
okay. And then this was her in the drawing room at Althorpe. She's looking through a copy of the Illustrated London News before a ball at the Spencer family home during the autumn of 1979. Even just sitting there on that couch, she's just so pretty.
Yeah,
My gosh.
very much so.
And this was her uh, in the gardens at Althorpe. Uh, uh, like I was saying earlier, she always wanted to be a dancer, but she grew, too tall to actually go into that in a professional manner. Um, and apparently, the chain that she's wearing around her neck was a D. It had the initial D, and it was a gift from her school friends at West Heath. This was um, just striking a comic pose, kind of, during a photo session at school. Um, trying to like hang off the fence, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, there was rumored that when she was younger, she was quite a tomboy. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. This is her older sister, Jane, um, sitting here together. So now what's crazy here? Now, maybe this is just me, but when I'm looking at this picture, she reminds me of Sarah Ferguson, her older
Yeah,
sister.
she sure. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, I mean, when I first
Fergie.
saw this picture, yeah, when I first saw this picture, that's who I thought it was. I was like, wait a
Oh
minute,
wow,
no, that's but no, that's her older sister Jane,
that is wild, Robin. I'm still like, yeah,
right? I
wow,
was like,
that's
wait a
weird.
minute, is this? But it's in that book. Like this is from it's the red hair, but it's the shape of her eyes, and even the smile
The
a little
smile
bit,
in her
like
nose too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Angie just said I thought it was Fergie. So did I at first when I first looked at it. So I was like, wait a minute.
I saw that and I was like, because I was looking through the book today, and I was just like, really? But no,
That's
but
so weird.
apparently she and Jane were very, very close,
Yeah.
and she relied on Jane a lot for advice and support. So,
Yeah,
they were very
right,
there. She is
Candy.
very,
Harry
yep,
definitely got the Spencer genes, that's for sure. The
yeah,
red hair and all
yeah,
that for sure.
yep. So there she is doing some ballet practice. I'm always so envious of people who have such long legs like that.
Mm.
At 5'2", I just did not grow the proper way. This
Amazing
is
things are built on small foundations. Remember that, Robin.
I'll take that. I'll take
There you go.
oh my gosh. This is Christmas 1979 at Althorpe. Here she wasn't looking very happy, because her father was in the hospital recovering from a stroke right then. And this is Countess Spencer's daughter, Charlotte. So that's her stepsister, Charlotte.
Okay.
Okay. Now, come on, computer. And let me. This was at a polo match at Cowdery Park in 1980, and this was the start of the romance between her and Prince Charles. She was invited to stay at the home of Commander Robert and Philippa de Pass, where Charles was the guest of honor that
Yes.
weekend. I'm not sure who this little one here is, but they're very adorable. And it doesn't surprise me to see her holding uh, a
A
baby, knowing
child.
how much she loved kids.
Right.
Yep.
There they are.
Um, yeah. Charles and Camilla after a polo match.
I'll never get it. I just don't.
No,
I'll
I
never get it.
never, never.
This, I gotta say this. I just have to say this. Okay. Looking at her there. Okay.
Yeah.
And then knowing what Camilla looks like or trying to forget what Camilla looks like, it doesn't make, and then knowing what Charles looks like. I mean, the dude when he was younger looked like he could fly away with those ears, you know? I mean, he wasn't the greatest looking guy in the world, and neither was Camilla, and you it just doesn't make any sense to me, you
I,
guys. None of it.
yeah. Yeah. So, but
Sorry, I had to say
yeah.
that.
No, I wholeheartedly agree.
Blows me away.
Yep, absolutely. Come on, computer. There we go. Now look at that. There she
Oh,
was, uh, in her drawing room.
That's awesome. I love
No,
that
that's
picture.
not a drawing room. Well,
no,
it's not telling me what this picture is. She's obviously shooting a gun or something.
they probably couldn't put that in there, right? The other one before that
Maybe.
was in her drawing room. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
She's
Oh no,
firing
this is
away.
she was receiving marksmanship lessons at a police weapons training center in Essex. So
Awesome.
yeah, look at that. That, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is one of the pictures by Patrick. Okay, I'm going to butcher this name. Patrick Demarchelier.
Patrick G.
Yeah, well, it begins with a D like dog.
Or G.
I don't know
G.
how to say
Yeah.
it. I think he's French, so I have no
Probably
idea how
close
to
enough.
say it. I'm sorry. Yeah, close enough. He was one of Diana's favorite photographers, and he had the ability to bring out the best in her, whether it
Sure.
was in formal or informal poses.
I'm sure it wasn't hard to
Obviously.
do.
No,
Right.
no. She that's just gorgeous. And look
I
at
re-
that. Equally as gorgeous, even though she's in just casual clothes. Um, just
I think I remember
amazing.
that photograph being like on a magazine sometime.
Yeah,
Like maybe on People or something. I swear I remember that photograph.
yeah, yeah. It's very, very
Yeah,
possible.
I'm sure she was on many magazines. So
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah. And of course, here's the wedding, 1981. Wow, that's like a lifetime ago for me.
Me too. Me too. I was 6 years old.
Yeah, I was
Jesus.
I was 10. I was like 10. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
No, 83 was 7th grade. Yeah. And then here they are leaving the hospital in June of 82 with Prince William.
William, yeah.
This is the Taj Mahal, and she's sitting there all alone. This was when they visited India in 1992.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
I was 7. Okay. I don't do well with math.
Come on.
Oh,
Oops.
nice one.
Yep.
Out of all of her pictures, like to me, this
Oh
says
yeah,
everything.
that
Says
one.
everything about her.
There's a lot of
Yep.
pictures out there of her like
I
this
mean, this
too.
one
Yeah.
just really like
Yep.
you could
She
just see
was
her like she's not even this photo that she's taking. You just like see her face. It doesn't even look. She's not doing this as like a photo op. Like you could see, like
no,
she's legitimately cares for this
no.
child.
This
Every
this
photograph that they got of her, they captured her like this all the time, you guys. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. This was when she was in Angola
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the with the British Red Cross with the anti-landmine campaign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a
And
picture. What a picture.
yep. So yep.
Yeah, I think that captures who she was right there in
Yeah.
itself, all by
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah. Yep. And then
It just makes me angry. It makes me so
I know.
angry looking at these because I know it wasn't an accident, you guys. I know it wasn't.
No. No. And then this of course was
Mhm.
her coffin with the white roses that with the card that said mummy.
Very
Yep.
sad.
Yep. Those are some really great pictures though. So well, I guess we'll leave it there for this week, but then next week we'll pick back up again. And you know, there's just so much to go over with this. So we're glad you guys are coming along for the ride with us to go through this, you know.
What I
Yeah.
mean, Janet, is that that's why we're doing this. I don't believe that the car
What do you
accident
mean? Oh, yeah.
that Diana was in, I don't believe it was an actual accident. I think there was a
Yeah.
lot more behind that what happened. That's what makes me so
Yeah.
angry.
we're gonna get into all that. There's
Of course.
Right.
numerous levels of fuckery, and then
Yes.
not everything is legit. There's also some stuff that people try to embellish on and change, and we're gonna get into all that, which doesn't
Yeah.
make it any easier to figure out what the hell happened. But
But
No.
that's why we're covering this like this,
yeah,
because there
Right.
was more to something, and we want to point it out. So
Right.
what I
We
could
want
tell
to.
you and leave you on one little, I mentioned the 14 cameras, but just one little detail which strikes me. So one of the things that I always like to mention and bring up in any case, and I mentioned this a million times about you know Brian Kohlberger and his phone disconnecting at 2 a.m. To me, it's not always about the individual that individual like action that's being done. It's the behavior of like what is the behavior. So not to
Mhm.
go too crazy, because like I said, we're just about done with the show, but one of the things that strikes me as super odd is the fact, just going by like what I have read from Diana's, like some of her close relatives and people she was that she was with, that she was very big about wearing her seatbelt. Well, in this accident she did not have a seatbelt on, I'll just say that.
No.
So
That's just one little problem
that's
that we
one,
have.
just to give you
Right.
a
That's
little
just
thing.
one. Just
And
a little hint.
there's so
Teaser.
many
Yeah.
more. So many more.
Yeah. And
Hey,
the drug war today says, thanks again, prayers for Diana. She is not alone and we care. And
amen.
yes,
Absolutely. Thank
absolutely.
you.
And thank you again for the gift. We appreciate that very much. Um, so I guess we'll go around and do our close here. So Sir Dago.
Yes, guys, thank you so much for joining us here for our first episode of the Princess Diana series. I'm very excited about this one. And like I said, we barely just scratched the surface on this. So much more interesting stuff to come, and I'm again very excited. Thank you, 1-1. And Robin for presenting such a great version of this. Logan, I hope you feel better if you can hear me out there. Sorry that you had to take off. I know she was excited about this too. But yeah, I hope you feel better, and I'm looking forward to next Sunday where we can jump into episode 2 on this. Very great story, sad, heartbreaking, but it needs to be told. Again, guys, we're pointing out the truth, or trying to. So thank you, all you mods. Thank you to everybody else out there that showed up for this. It's always great to see you guys. And guys, don't forget to love yourselves, love each other. Don't change a thing. You guys are the beautiful people, and we love you. We'll see you soon. Good night.
Okay, 1-1.
All right. Thanks for great show, Robin, Dago, and Logan. Hope you're feeling better. You got this. Thank you to all the communities who are part of us and our amazing mods, Amanda, Essie, Penny, whoever else, I don't know. Whoever else is part, and all the mods from all the channels. Community together, all of you guys collectively, it's just amazing the help that you do, even if you're not technically on the panel answering questions or speaking or being in front of the camera. You are with us as well, because you guys, your help is, I can't put it even into words, how much sometimes I feel like it's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire sometimes. Like people, some of the questions that you guys come out with sometimes from the chat are amazing questions, but we we do research, but we don't know everything up here. We try our best, and some of you guys, behind the scenes, like in a moment's will, like being able to get us some of the answers and help us with
Yes.
the pictures and documents. It's like
Yeah.
you guys are like off the charts. You really are.
Yes.
So
Yep.
can't thank you.
Absolutely.
I can't thank you guys enough. I do not have a long movie quote tonight. So yesterday was a special occasion.
That was hysterical. I loved it. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, that was
Yes.
hysterical.
I think you gave us enough for 3 or 4 from that one. So
Yeah.
that was
So
hilarious. I loved it.
tonight is a short. It's actually two quotes, but it's just a short. So Dago is always on fire. I don't know. I might have to give him a 30-second handicap sometime, but we will see. All right. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Never hate your enemies. It affects your judgment. And the second quote, leave the gun, take the cannoli.
No clue. Dago, come on.
I know that. The second one I
you
know for
definitely-
sure.
Oh, you definitely know it.
What the fuck?
Don't look at me, man, because
My
I got
God.
nothing.
How am I not getting this? I know this. It's in one of the Godfathers.
Does anybody else out there know it?
Yeah, you got it. It's the Godfather.
It's one of the Godfathers, isn't it?
Yes, you got it.
Okay.
I just didn't know which one it was in. I couldn't remember, but I know it was one of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Godfather 3. Oh, hey. Congrats to anyone in the chat who got it. And to
Is it
Dago, at
3?
least you got Godfather. I was
Yeah.
like,
Okay, you guys
had
got it. They
nothing.
got it. I just knew it was Godfather. I didn't know which
Well,
one.
you're close. That's close enough.
That one was pretty good. The first is the best, but yeah. The best one ever
Oh my
made.
God.
The best movie like that ever made, you guys, is
Oh.
Goodfellas. Go see Goodfellas if you ain't seen it. That's great.
Goodfellas
I haven't seen
amazing.
that in a long time.
And you know it's also great. I forget the name of it actually. I'll have to go. They actually made a movie about, and it's actually a full drama. It's a 10-part series. It's a drama about them making The Godfather.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Like,
Yes.
I've never seen anything like it, and it's funny how you can make an actual drama about making The Godfather.
movie.
It's
Yeah.
right.
It was good. It was really good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Goodfellas is one of my favorite. Donnie
Yes.
Brasco is another. That's a true story for those of you that don't know about that one. Speaking of true crime, about an FBI
yeah.
agent that gets put inside and got a little too close and couldn't get out. So great movie.
Yeah.
Great
You got
movies they put out.
Serpico.
All right.
Yeah.
One of these nights I'll get one. I swear.
Yes,
I
you
will
got
get
to.
one
You
of these
got
nights
to.
I'll get a quote.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys for coming out tonight. And this is such a special series to us. I hope you guys can tell that. And we couldn't do what we do without all of you. But whether you're here live, you're on the replay crew, you are just as important to us and to all the chats and the mods. We love you very much, and we have much more to come on this series. And tomorrow night we will be back regular time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9 p.m. Eastern. So it will be business as usual. I'm not sure. I think we're going to have a full panel tomorrow night. So tune in for that. And I hope everyone is safe from the storm. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. Just stay home. I know, one. I'm sorry. I wish, but I'll tell you, you're dedicated, man. Going out there in that 2 feet of snow, you'll have to hook Cash up to the sled.
Yeah. Well, I have no choice. We don't get snow days at my job.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, but anyhow, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful night. Please take care, and we will see you all tomorrow night.
Have
Good
a great
night.
night, everybody.
Good night, guys.